So, in this mini masterclass, I'm going to look at how you can reinvent yourself with a book or a course. Now, don't worry, I'm not going to take you through the entire process because that would just be a tad too much. But if you feel like you're just too old or too tired to start again, you're not ready to explore something, do you know what? You're not alone. But here's the truth. Your wisdom, your experiences, and your passions can lead you to something incredible, like a book or a course. And that can transform not only your life, but the lives of others. So, what we're going to look at is why reinvention is not about starting over, but it's evolving stuff that we already know, evolving who we are. And a book or a course could be the key to rediscovering your purpose. So for many, many years, I mean, I come from a corporate background, like way, way, way back. And I think, when you take new careers, you're reinventing yourself all the time and you're learning new things and new skills and all sorts of things. But oh gosh, 13, 14 years ago, I, as a, I always like to do multiple things. I was teaching writing to heal and journaling and stuff like that. And it evolved into helping people turn their stories into books. And I became a book coach. And when you work with people on books, although they've come to you, they have an idea of what they want to do, they're actually reinventing themselves through that process of writing a book and then turning that book often, but not always, into an online course. And that really is what got me into, I'm going to call it the reinvention revolution. But this still works for me when I want to really find purpose and meaning again. I write a book, more likely an ebook these days. I tend to not write books about my life or stories about my life. I tend to write what I call transformational journals. So it takes the personal out of it, but what we're doing is expressing our wisdom and we're teaching other people something useful. But also, because of the nature of the structure of that, you can turn it into an online course. So I had a live workshop called 6 Weeks to a New You. I'm turning it into a course called Kickstart Your Reinvention Journey. So it's got the 6 modules. And, so all the workbook content that I created, I'm turning it into an online course. I'm literally doing the PowerPoint slides now. It's not all PowerPoint. It is definitely not death by PowerPoint. But what I've been able to do is extract that information to turn it into a fairly simple online course. And it's a process, and I love creating things that help to change other people's lives. So that's how I like to work. Now you may be thinking, I haven't got an idea, I don't know what I can do. I don't know what my wisdom is. I don't know what it is I want to share with the world. Well, here's the thing, it doesn't have to be massive. What I teach people to do is to create what I call a passion project as a route to exploring purpose. And for me, it's always books, ebooks, workbook courses, and things like that, because I love creating. I love writing. I love taking things apart and putting them back together in a different way. And what I love about this is about a passion project is that it's about committing to not necessarily changing your entire life unless you want to, but changing a small part of your life. So I'm just going to invite you to let's explore how we can unlock this passion project with a short visualization. So what I'd like to do is invite you to, and I always have to do this myself. I've always got my feet crossed. I've got one of those little ramps under my desk for my feet, but I've always got my feet somehow. And I do it when I'm asleep, when I go to bed. Who knows what that is, but uncross your feet, get yourself comfortable, have a little shake out and just have a little feel through your body. And then we're just going to take some breaths. So let's just take deep breath in and exhale slowly. And I'm going to invite you to come into the heart space. Bring your focus and your attention there. And then we're going to take our breath all the way down through the roots. Imagine you've got roots growing from the bottom of your feet, and they're going deep, 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 deep into the heart of Mother Earth. Now, there might be something there. You might find a word, a crystal, a symbol that demonstrates something to you. And then just breathe that beautiful energy back up into your heart. And let it all go. And then take your focus and your energy up, 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 and through the crown and up into the heart of the universe. That might be the cosmos, God, grace, higher self, whatever that means to you. And again, there might be something there, a message, a symbol, a crystal, something for you. And just bring that energy back in to your heart space. Now you find yourself sitting in a gorgeous room. You're on a beautiful sofa. It is so comfortable. There's lots of squishy cushions, and you are invited to sit down next to your future self. Take a good look at her. What do you see? What do you feel? What do you know about her? And you notice a calendar and you see that this is 1 year from now. And you are holding something in your hands. It's a book that you have written. Take a good look at it. It's the book that you have written, and you've decided to make a course out of it. Notice the title. Look at the cover. It is gorgeous. It is a true representation of you and your heart, your experience, and your wisdom. Flick through the pages. Take a smell. There's something lovely about the smell of a book. Scan through it. Look at the table of contents. This is your wisdom. Feel the energy of your work, the impact it has had on people's lives. And then you notice on the table is a computer. You did indeed create a course of the same name, and it just looks fantastic. It is brilliant. And you know that it's been changing lives. Now imagine a reader or a student thanking you for what you have created. What do they say? Feel that pride, that joy, that feeling of fulfillment that you were able to bring your wisdom to life to support and help other people. Come back into the heart space. Take some deep breaths. Think about the book and the course that you have just seen. What is this book or course about? How does it change your life and the lives of others? What message do you feel called to share? Do you feel called to create your book or your course first? And what is your first next step? Take a deep breath. Bring that vision into your heart. Ask your future self, is there anything else you need to know before you leave? Listen to her wise words. Take another deep breath, focusing in on your heart, and gently open your eyes when you are ready. And if you have a journal handy, go and get your journal and scribble down what you know, what you got from that visualization. So now that we've had a little glimpse into our passion project, now you might only have a word. It doesn't matter. You might have reams of stuff. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about how to bring it to life. Now, here's the great thing about journaling. If you've just got one word, you can mind map it, you can reflect on it, you can scribble in your journal and just let those thoughts or ideas evolve. You don't have to have all the answers right now. So why a book or a course? Well, it gives you a structured way to explore reinvention, purpose, and meaning. And it helps you, writing helps you to clarify the journey, the ideas, and the wisdom and all the experiences that you want to share. And teaching allows you to share that knowledge and create impact. So the passion project effect, a passion project gives you energy and direction. It becomes the inspiration for guiding you towards your purpose and what is next. Now, what about those gremlins? Those things that come in and go, look, 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 I'm far too old and it's too late. Do you know what? It's never too late to share your wisdom. I think now, gosh, I can't remember. I think I bought my mum a book. She was in the 60s somewhere, and it was a book on how to write a novel. I bought her a journal and a pen. So she had a bit of a rough old life. My dad, I love him, but he was an alcoholic and practically, he drank himself to death. Their relationship was not great. It was often in conflict. And I thought, what a great idea. My mum is already an artist. She paints beautiful pictures. And I thought, let's get mum writing. Well, blimey, blow me over with a, she's 86 now, blow me over with a feather. This woman has written, I don't know how many books. And she's always doing things to keep herself alive and whatever. So she still paints, but not on a grand scale anymore because she's had 5 or 7 fractures in her spine, severe osteoporosis. So it's much more comfortable to sit. I think she's written, I don't know, 7 or 8 books. She wrote one book with her friend Mariano. So mum lives in Spain like I do. She was the pioneer. I followed her here. And she wrote a children's book. And it was based on when my nieces were really young, used to come to Spain on holiday, and my mum would sit with them and draw and write, and they would tell stories. And they had this story called Georgina's Magic Potion. So in Georgina's Magic Potion, over a period of time, they had all these little snippets, and they all wrote a little bit. Well, my mum took it and she wrote a book called Georgina's Magic Potion. And with Mariano, he translated it into Spanish. So they now have a published children's book that is English in the front and Spanish in the back. And I'm just so proud of my mum. So, you might be thinking, do you know what? I haven't got time. I haven't got time to do this. Well, you could do a passion project that fits around the life that you already have. You don't this is not a sprint. Just, we can take our time doing stuff. So we can always find pockets of time for things that we love. We seriously can. And then what about that? I don't know where to start. Well, start with a word, start with a story, scribble down your expertise. Think of the things that people come to you and ask the most? Yeah. What do they ask the most? And then think of all the experience that you've had. Now, you might have worked in corporate and you're thinking, well, I haven't got anything. But do you know what? You can take the things, the skills that you've learned, you can translate them into something else. So here's the thing. Here's a really simple method. Love or hate AI. It is fantastic for brainstorming. You could scribble down your ideas, mind map them in your journal, and then feed them into ChatGPT as an example. And it's going to be a game of trial and error because AI tools work on good prompting. But start to feed your stuff in, and I bet you within a really short space of time. So I used to be a something, 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 and what I really, really love is blah, blah, blah. And people always ask me about such and such. And I would like to transfer my skills from X. So let's say you were in marketing, blah, 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 to help women over 50 do X, Y, Z. Give me some ideas of a book title, and it'll go in seconds, in a nanosecond. You will have some great ideas. You can take that away, you can play with it, you can get big sheets of paper and brainstorm, and you can come up, you can just, again, you don't have to do it today. You can do little bits, play with it, get your colored pens out, step into that childlike quality of exploring and playing. And you'll come up with something. You can feed it back in and say, help me make sense of this. And then lo and behold, you will end up with an outline. And you can take the outline away and do something with it. So your first step, brainstorm. Big sheets of paper, colored pens, post-it notes, play. What I often do is when I've played, I'll go for a walk with my dogs and more ideas will come. I'll come back to my mind map and I'll play with it. And then I do use ChatGPT to help me make sense of my scribbles. You do not have to take what it says. You literally don't. But it's like having a mentor sat beside you. So let's have a look at how we could use something like ChatGPT. Now, I'm not going to go through like mountains of stuff, but generating ideas. So we've talked about, playing around with it. What are 10 book or course ideas based on my expertise in whatever that topic is? You will be astounded. What are the 5 unique angles I could explore around? And what will happen is the more you use it, the more you learn to prompt it. It has to learn about you. I was going to say it's an animal. It's not an animal. It's a machine. It's a machine. And honestly, it will help you in so many ways. Now, what about your ideal reader? Who do you want to read your book? Women over 50, children going through, like, who is it? Describe them in detail. So what kind of book or course, based on my expertise, would help these kind of people? Give that as a prompt. So here's the people I think I want to help. This is what I think I want to help them with. So what kind of book or course could I create? Honestly, you'd be astounded. And then, now we don't want to go through like the whole process of doing it now because you would be going, I can't cope. And then outline it. Go through, create a 10-chapter outline on the book based on what we have discussed, based on what you know about me, do blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Now, in between these things, you would be coming back to your journal, back to your mind map, and then coming back and refining. Yeah, and then you could say, once you've gone through it and you're going, yeah, do you know what? I love that. That's a great book title. So what often happens with me is I'll come up with a book title and I think, I love that word, that bit over there, and then I'll play around with it. And then it's my idea. It's not its idea, it's mine. But I've got somebody to feed my creativity back to me. So when you've played around with your outline for a book or a course, you could say, expand, as an example, chapter 3 with 3 key points and maybe some examples. And you'd be sitting there going, yeah, I might say that, I might not. Refine it. But what it's doing is it prompting you back to engage this. And you can do the same thing with a course. So you can say, can you break this idea down into a 6-week course structure? Create lesson titles and key takeaways for each module, right? Now, the next thing is you'll be thinking, well, I've got all of that, but like, where do I start? So you could say, feed everything back into ChatGPT and say, write me an introduction for my course or book based on this. Now, for me, that's you're not asking it to write it for you. You're asking it to write it to give you inspiration. Like, there is so much you can do. So ChatGPT is not here to replace your creativity. It's here to enhance it. It's like having a mentor sat by your side, giving you some structure so you can focus on the heart of your message. So when you've done all that playing around, your job is to come back, sit back and reflect. AI is here to help you brainstorm and to help you feel inspired. Okay, deep breaths. I hope you've got some notes. I hope you've been scribbling while I've been talking. Okay, so you've got all this scribbling. Your brain is whirring 1,000 miles an hour. You're probably not even listening to me anymore because you're thinking, oh, I could go and do this. Right, let's do some practical steps. So, book or course, which excites you the most? Journal prompt. If I could share one message with the world right here, right now, what would it be? And if I could help one person, what do they need to know? What do they need to know? Yeah. And then start with a really, really simple framework. So outline 10 chapters with key takeaways. Now, what I like to do and what I used to teach, actually what I still teach because I have courses on Udemy on how to write books, excuse me, is what I ask people to do is when they've got their outline is to write, this chapter is about. And I tell you what, it's not as easy as it sounds because you're looking at it and you're going, all right, it's a chapter on like what is self-love? Oh dear, so it really helps you to zone in on what it is you want to say. And then I get people to write 3 questions. Yeah, I am going to answer these 3 questions in this chapter about what you've just written for my ideal reader. Yeah, and you can do the same thing with a course. Create 5 to 7 lessons with a clear transformation. What is this about? Why do people need to learn it? How are we going to do it? And what's the outcome at the end? Yeah. And then it's really about, that thing, I haven't got the time to do it. Well, you could start by writing 10 to 15 minutes a day. You could play 10 to 15 minutes a day. Sketch out your lessons, sketch out your outline. When I'm writing something, I get up really, really early in the morning and I'll write for an hour. And I have to remind myself, it's like, oh, the light's coming up. I've got to take the dogs out. Yeah. So use ChatGPT as your co-creator. Let it help you organize your thoughts. Always infuse everything with your voice and your energy, but get it to check your ideas, check your flow. Does it make sense? What haven't you thought about? Yeah. So that's it. There's not much more that I have got to say, but reinvention starts with a decision to explore, to give yourself permission to explore, to open your heart, to expand your ideas. And I often think a book or a course is not just about creating something for others, it's about rediscovering ourselves, rediscovering that passion. Now, if you've got a journal, that's a great place to start. And when you start writing, you will be shocked and astounded at how much wisdom you've got. Honestly, if you've been around the block as many times as I have, with many years, we know so much. Like someone will ask you a random question, and somewhere you'll come up with an answer, and it's like, where did that come from? All right. Now, when you've formulated a passion project, if you're feeling brave enough, put in the comments below. I would love to hear what it is that you would like to create. Do you know what? It doesn't have to be the first thing you think of. Something else could spring from it. It's often how things happen. So I hope I've inspired you to take that first baby step. Now, don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to hit that bell so that you get notification when I'm back on here to share my wisdom with you again. And like I say, drop your passion project below. And down below, you can see there's lots of ways to connect with me. I hope you have a really, really beautiful, beautiful day and lots of great fun exploring what it is you'd like to write or create.